Greetings, friend. How are you today? I have two questions for you today. First question: what's your most favorite quotes? So a lot of different quotes out there. What's your favorite one? And the second question, are you the kind of person that wonder, like your mind wonder about this and wonder about that and wonder about this and that? And you and I this week are sharing on how you can easily stay calm and relax even when things are going on the way you prefer it's not happening. And that could be, and this could be something you've been working toward, but it could also be as you are interacting with others, as you're interacting with people, and you say, oh wow, I prefer this person's not doing this or saying that or something. And the key that we the other key that we have that I have for you today is to actually to wonder. And what is wonder really? According to the dictionary.com, to wonder is to actually be curious, but also with a little bit of amusement or amazement. Not just be curious, because you can be kind of like curious and grumpy. Have you ever been there? Have you ever had that happen? You kind of like, I wonder why, and then but the true wonder is to actually say, this is interesting, and be curious in a way that's expansive instead of kind of like, and why is that? Because we never really know what's actually going on if you are interacting with somebody in someone's life. Even if you live with a person, you don't necessarily always know what what they dreamed last night or something like that. And we know, as the Course in Miracles says, that if you are interacting with somebody and the person's behaving in the way that you prefer not happening, to remember to wonder what is causing this. And when you're wondering, you can try this. You can try to wonder and then to be overwhelmed or stressed out or upset at the same time. It's actually usually doesn't, the two usually don't happen together. If you're truly wondering, the true wondering where you kind of like have a little bit of amusement or amazement in there, you kind of like, it's just kind of curious, and so you're not upset and wondering at the same time. You're curious in an expansive and an open way. And if you're interacting with somebody, you might say, I wonder what's going on with this person's life. I wonder what make the person says this, knowing, as the Course in Miracles says, that every action, regardless of how undesirable it might be to you, is either an expression of love or a call for love. So someone who is screaming at somebody might possibly be either wanting attention, calling for love in a way that nobody wants, or an expressions of love. Today, my cat reminded me of that. Mr. Kid reminded me of that. I came home. I have a lot of things to do and very tight schedule, all back to back, and so all wonderful. But the cat wanted to go and hang out in the balcony, and so I let him out for a short moment, and then I came back, and then I got absorbed by multiple things, and then at some point he started to meow a little bit, meow. Now I'm like, okay, yes, I pat him and I take him in instead of going to the balcony. And at some point, now granted, he learned to have his way in here, to say the very least. At some point, as I go to get some water, he yelled at me. He's like, meow, and then he smacked me. He smacked me a little bit, and if this were a person, they would be even appear to be more inappropriate. And what was he doing? He was calling for love. He just wanted to be loved. He wanted for me to hang on with him, to hold him, to go and sit at the balcony with him, and all these things. He was calling for love, even though if I wasn't aware for that, I could say, what a misbehaving cat he is. Oh my goodness, he's yelling and he's smacking and all this thing, and all he wanted was for me to say, okay, let's take a break, take a deep breath, and then go and sit at the balcony and with him and pet him for 5 minutes. And then he was happy afterward. And he was the best behaving cat again. And he was just like reminding me, hey, I want some love. so that's the same thing. That's a cat, but human actually behave many times in a similar way. When they are expressing something, when you're interacting with somebody, that you find the behavior undesirable. Perhaps you wonder, could this be either a call for love or an expression of love in a unique way? And also, when something happening in your life, one of my favorite quote is Napoleon Hill, from Napoleon Hill, that says, every adversity, every heartbreak, every failure has the seed of an equal or greater benefit in it. And so when something happening that is not what you desire, it is very normal and very easy, being human, to get upset, to get overwhelmed, to get stressed, to get nervous, to get anxious, and to start panic, and so on and so forth, maybe even to get angry, depending on what's going on. And if you are open to practice what we've been sharing this week and last week, which is to stand guard at the portal of your mind. And yes, you acknowledge your feeling, but as you acknowledge your feeling, and the other day we said you can choose what you want to think. You can also choose to wonder and say, so what is the possible good in this? What's the possible good? And just be curious with amazement and believing that, okay, since this is not going the way I would love for it to be, then what is the seed of good in this? Instead of saying, oh my goodness, this is such a loss. Oh my God, that's such a bad behavior. Oh my God, this is not going to be successful. Because why? Once you do that, then naturally you close all door, and then nobody like to lose. Nobody like to so-called fail, if there is that word is in your dictionary, or receive unpleasant feedback, or nobody like, there are things like that we prefer not happening. And therefore, if you say, oh, this is a loss, oh, this is unpleasant, or oh, this is irritating, or what have you, then you actually dictate. Yes, the other day we shared about, there are affirmations that you are conscious about, and there are those affirmations that you give yourself and you might not even be aware about, where you say, this is just not going to happen. This is just not going to happen. This is not going to work out well. Have you ever caught yourself saying something like that? Those are affirmations too. And affirmations that you might not want to have around in your life. But instead of that, what if you say, oh, well, I just wonder if this doesn't work out, if I endeavor for this and it doesn't work out, what's possible good is that? Possibly in this, I actually experienced something like this with one of my clients. The client was going on a competition. Competitions that would have been very beneficial for him to win and good for his business and his career, and in creating something. And he came out very close to winning that, but he didn't make it to the last round. And he said, oh, and of course he acknowledged he was sad that after all those, and then he says, and then I remember to wonder and say, so what's the possible good out of this? What's the possible good after, in his case, putting 3 months into something that he did not win, even though he feels he is very highly qualified, and he is very highly qualified. And as he asks, what's the possible good? What's the possible good? He suddenly thought that whatever that he has been working for, this whole thing could easily be transferred to a different opportunity that he also been thinking about, but actually been sort of kind of like stuck. And so he said, well, he could not possibly do both. It's one of those, you do one or because of multiple different reasons, he could only handle one project. And so he took this one and just simply modify it a little bit. He's put his energy into this other one, which is actually a new opportunity that just come up recently, and in a very short time, in a matter of several weeks, when he did that, he looked at it, and then this other new opportunity, the people come back to him and says, "Hey, we love your idea, we love your creations," and it's actually such a wonderful opportunity that allow him to go scale up in such a significant way that he's working at the global level now, which before that, with the other opportunity, would have been an awesome opportunity, but it would not allow, it would be much less likely to allow him to be working at such a global level, impacting so many people's lives by now. And so what is some possible seed of good in whatever circumstance that you are facing? And what is possibility if you are interacting with someone? What's the possibility? Is the person's possibly calling for love or an expression of love in a way that might be rather curious to you, but what is possibility in there? How can you wonder more? Sometimes we have these connotations of wondering is kind of like so a little bit daydreaming and so forth, but we can use wondering in a beautiful way, in a way that allow you, as you wonder and say, what is the reasons behind this? What's possible good? Is this person's asking, or the cat asking for love, or an expressions of love that will allow you to actually be more relaxed, because now you're simply wondering instead of condemning the outcome of something or the behavior of something as you are interacting with it. And please share in the comment below if there is something in your life right now that you are navigating, and therefore how could you wonder more? What spectrum of wonder might help you be able to explore more? And of course, if you ever have such an experience where you perhaps initially see something in one way, you perceive it as unpleasant, so-called bad or something, and then you allow yourself and your mind to open up with a little bit curiosity and a bit of an amusement, and things actually change significantly, as it's with my client, and then it's actually give you a magnificent result. Or the way I did with my speaking, I just simply said, I wonder what this is all about. I wonder why this is happening this way, and what's possible good, what's possibility, what could I possibly do to create this still such an awesome blossom result, and stay calm and relaxed when thinking about it. And so please share in the comment below if you ever have such an experience. You're welcome to reach out to me directly, if you to message me if you'd love some support in any manner, perhaps seeing what possible good that is in your circumstance. And feel welcome to share your feedback or this video if you'd like to. And this is Birgit with Joyful Riches Beyond Grief, and I love you very much, and I look forward to see you again very, very soon, living a beautiful, joyful, calm, relaxed life, full of peace of mind and beautiful, awesome result, and creating a thriving life one day at a time, and a magnificent, beautiful, thriving life in a whole. And I see you again very, very soon.